outplaying each other.
It's time for the hardest hitting 2 hours on the Panhandle.
I love it. You're coming through. You got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day. I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. It's Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share. Right now.
We're here, and it's Monday, and you're locked into the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. The Braves don't play today, but just know they will be coming very soon to a radio near you, which is 104.3. The Braves on the Gulf Coast are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Billbird Kia, PCB Hobby, Cito, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories. I'm so excited to be here today, and if you want to be a part of this show, all you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line, 850-215-6290. You can go on our website, on our Facebook page. You can listen on ESPN app, Northwest Florida app as well. So it's just going to be a great day. I got two studs with another stud in the other building with us today. As always, on a Monday, got Brian in the building. Brian, we are week 0. We finally made it. How you doing today, my friend?
Well, doing good. Just watching the NFL waiver wire for the next college All-American.
That is correct. Jeffro in the building, ready to go. How you doing today, my friend?
Well, I think it's great that the Browns are like the minor league franchise for LSU. It's
there
great.
You go.
It's
wow.
Awesome.
Started off right. And as always, on a Monday, the Crusher of Bones is in the building. Bone Crusher, how you doing?
How about them Falcons?
Wow.
They could be the minor league team, too.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll take your – I'm not sure if they're even rejects, really.
Yeah.
Are they?
I don't know, man. Look, let's dive into this right
yeah, you've been waiting.
now. We've got to talk about this. Craziest thing ever in my life. LSU
this week
is
Yeah.
just
this week
opened up big time. I want to talk about it. I want to give the preface of it, though, because there's a lot of things that's been going on. And, you know, Lane Kiffin had his press conference today talking about it. And basically, he said they're going to play somewhere. So one or the other deal is this. They're either going to play with you or you're probably going to play against them. So he said, if it's in the rules, we're going to follow the rules. And I'm curious to know how you guys feel. Jeffrey, we're starting with you first today. This is your team. You jumped all over me. I'm prefacing this now. You jumped all over me and started hollering at the Alabama fans for allowing the Alabama basketball player to go play in the G League, which is a minor league for the NBA,
Yeah.
and then come back and actually play in college basketball. Now, you were a big proponent against it. You said that's terrible. That's not right. He's already signed a contract.
Yeah.
This is the same thing, right? Because these guys have signed a contract, whether they were drafted or not.
Yeah.
They went into the NFL. Some of them have played preseason games.
Yeah.
All of them have practiced.
Yeah.
So, all right, you're up. What you got?
I mean, what are you going to do about the courts? And we have 50 states. Are we going to have to make this a federal thing?
Maybe.
I mean, that's the only way. We're broken apart as a country, really, because we have too many courts. And there's appeal courts on top of it. And then it's got to get to the federal. Supreme Court, just go ahead and just vote and just say, you know, this is this and this is that. And, you know, Jeff has no eligibility, even though I'd never declared for college.
Well, I mean, that is true.
But I've aged out, right? Right, Brian?
All right, Brian.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure a judge in Plaquemines Parish will probably put you through.
Why go to the suburbs?
I don't know.
Just keep it in the city, Baton Rouge.
But
because that's pretty much how it is.
Basically, it's going to have to be done federally, and I've said it from the beginning. Once you basically admitted we're now paying them, and they're semi-pro, professional, however you want to describe it, then you bring in all the different state laws as it relates to right to work and everything like that. Now, the reason that the pro leagues get around it is because they have federal antitrust exemption, they have collective bargaining, they have all kinds of things that you're going to have to do in order to do this, because otherwise it's going to keep devolving into this, because they're all state institutions with no federal oversight in terms of collective bargaining or in terms of, more importantly, the antitrust exemption. That would be what would grant an entity the rights to set rules over the whole thing. Yeah, and then they could be sued, but they're going to win in court for once. The irony in all of this is we're learning levels of ineptitude and corruption as we go down the line. We've had the NCAA for years. Now these local judges have decided, no, we're way worse than that. Put it in our court. And guess where it's going to end up ultimately? Congress, the king of ineptitude and corruption. So, but unfortunately, that's where it's going to have to end.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What are the lawyers getting out of this? Are they
a lot of money? A lot of billable hours.
Yeah, they're going to be able to. They're going to be
Well,
able to.
who are
they're
they billing
working.
it to?
Everybody.
Everyone that's involved. Now that the child,
This
if you
is
want to
a-
call him,
this
is
is
coming
a-
back,
this
he's
is
an
a-
employee. He's making money.
This is
he
a
can pay.
This is a lawyer.
LSU
this
can
is a
play.
lawyer's
No.
dream.
I don't believe this. This can't be right.
Yeah.
This is a
Oh, yeah.
lawyer's dream.
Yeah, this is money.
I mean,
They
all
don't
the
work-
players?
They don't work for free.
So here you go. If they're not getting straight billable hours from the athletes, which some of them are, they're going to get it from someone who's doing this on behalf of the athletes. And even if they're doing it, quote, pro bono, it's in order to raise their name and profile out there so they get hired on by other people with money.
I thought that it had to be linked to like being an agent. I had to. That's what I thought.
No, they can
Wow.
go because it's going into a court. It's
So-
not. It's an actual opportunity to be in the court
Look.
system.
Yeah, but they don't award prize money just for being in court.
No, but there, like he said, there's money somewhere coming from someone or some kind of benefit that he gets on.
To your point about, where we are with all this and Kiffin, and look, as a coach, and granted, I didn't coach at this level. I'm not trying to say I did. But I would have a hard time personally because I think it goes against the integrity of the sport of college football. I do. That being said, I'm not sure I'd hold it against another coach for playing within the rules as defined. Like, I wouldn't do it. But they're not breaking the rules technically, so why not? I get it. Again, I wouldn't do it, but I understand there are some
Which is exactly
who
what
would.
Ryan Day said.
But here's the problem, is that, if you're Lane Kiffin, and yes, I know there's buyouts for these coaches now, and no one feels sorry for them and all like that, but it can affect them and their future earnings past this. Everyone thinks, oh, well, that's enough money for me to live the rest of my life on. Not the way some of these guys live.
Oh, yeah.
And it does affect a lot of them and their future. So I'm not saying cry for the poor, Jimbo Fishers of the world getting $75 million not to coach. What I'm saying is that you have to understand, if these guys don't win, they're going to be fired. And ultimately, that's the one thing they get fired for. Lane Kiffin is not going to get fired for signing an NFL thing. There are some LSU fans who probably don't like this either.
Oh, yeah.
They ain't going to fire him for that.
No, of
They'll
course
fire him for losing enough games.
Yep.
So I understand it from their point of view. I don't love it. I don't think I would do it. But I understand it, and it has to get cleaned up nationally.
Now, let me ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw a name out there. Josh Booty. He's coming out of Evangel Christian High.
Right.
It's 1991. He was going to be starting LSU quarterback.
That's right.
And he decides to sign on.
He went and played baseball.
Yeah, I went and played for the Florida Marlins, I think it was. And he signs on and everything, and he gets, I don't know if he got $1 million for 3 years or whatever he did. But he went pro. in a sport, and then he came back to college.
They had rules back then that you had to go back and re-earn your amateur status, and I do think it had to be in a different sport because almost every one of and he wasn't the only one.
Oh, I know.
But almost every one of those that did happen was a baseball to football or football to whatever, something like that. It was likely baseball to football because they could make money right out of high school with baseball, whereas football they weren't allowing them. So, there were things you had to do to reestablish your amateur credentials. There were even a few cases where you could actually go back and reestablish that for potential Olympic Games involvement. But it was very difficult, and there were a lot of hoops to jump through.
The thing is, though, that we still haven't answered is you gave me all this grief. Do you agree with this or not? Because you didn't say yes or no. You immediately pushed it to Brian. Do you agree with this?
No, I don't agree with it. No. But the way you phrased it at the very beginning, it sounded like you're either with us or are you with the terrorists?
I mean,
did it not sound like that? Did it sound like that to you?
Look, it was funny.
So you were basically saying LSU is the terrorists, and if you're not with us and going by the rules, then you're with the terrorists, which are LSU.
Let's start going down these rabbit holes because I was on the phone. I was talking to Steve Barnes right before we came on, and Steve made my head spin because he's gone deep into this and thoughts and all like that, and. Here's some interesting ones. So this kid, Daquan Wright, I think that's right. Mm-hmm. He is technically an unrestricted free agent at this point in terms of the NFL. So let's say he comes in and he plays for LSU. There's not going to be any revenue sharing money. There will be some NIL money because I think they're going to lean on the Canes guy anyway, and whatever, that's fine. So there will be some, and he'll have to make some appearances, whatever, this, that, or the other. But he is still an unrestricted free agent in terms of the NFL. What if week 3, the Saints tight end goes down and they need a player? This guy can have taken that money from LSU. He can still make his appearances, but now he's going to go play for the Saints. How's LSU going to love that?
Well, he can play for LSU on Saturday and the Saints for Sunday.
Yeah, right.
But there's other things. I mean, let's assume, and I don't know, but you have the 105-man roster limit now. You have 105 scholarships now, but your roster limit was cut. So you have 105 on the roster.
Really? I didn't know that they had a limit.
They expanded the scholarships, but they cut the rosters. Okay?
Yep.
So you're at 105. Let's assume LSU filled out 105. They may not have. They may have known there were these possibilities. They may have left a spot. But let's assume they did. You put right on the team. You're cutting somebody.
Oh.
What are we? A week? 2 weeks for the season?
Yep. Yeah.
There's a lot of...
What about school? What about classes?
Well,
yeah,
as if anyone cares about that anymore. But they do them online now, to be honest with you. But the point is, this opens up so many issues. It's such a mess. We've got to clean it up.
Well, they only did 102. So the number for LSU is 102. So they did leave 3 or 4 open spots. This has already been reported. So they did leave 3 or 4 spots. So nobody is getting cut, but there is, depth chart issues that you're going to go to. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We got Mike on the line. Mike, how are you doing today, my friend?
Well, I'm just tuning you in, and you want to tell me why we're still talking about the IL money situation? I don't agree with the whole IL thing.
Well, what happened was the former LSU player that went and played with the Browns.
No. He was an Ole Miss player.
Ole Miss player, played with Lane Kiffin. Now he jumped ship. Now he's signed with LSU to come back to college to play one more year because the court system allowed it.
I don't think there's something wrong with that because once you're done with college, you cannot go back to college.
Right.
I don't agree with that system. That system should be thrown out the window, and I don't agree with that at all. Now, let me ask you something else. Totally switching subject on your ball. What is going on with the Braves? Because I haven't been listening for a while.
Well, they've been losing, and last night they won. So that's what happened, and the Phillies have been hot. And so that's why they are, I think 3 games or 4 games now. I can't remember what it was last night, but either way, that's what happened. The Braves have went on a little bit of a skid, and the Phillies have been totally hot. So now it's 3 games. They're up over the Phillies, so that's what it is.
Do we have any more games with the Takes and Phillies?
Yeah, they come. I think it's in September.
Yeah, early
September.
Like
So next month.
How many more games do we have with the Phillies in all together?
It's either 4 or 8. I think we've got 2. I think we got 2 more series with them. If it's just, it could just be 1 series, but I'm thinking it's 2.
Okay, and are we going to be the home of the National League Championship and the World Series on WGSX?
Well, we'll be covering all the chances that we can for being able to cover the Braves for sure. But we sure do appreciate your call, Mike. Man,
Hey, Paul.
awesome, man.
I love you, man. You do a good job.
Thank you so much,
Bye.
Mike. We appreciate it.
It's going to be 7 games in a 9-day stretch.
That's it.
You got the first 4 at
Yeah.
Philly, and then
Yeah.
the next 3 are at home. Braves have 31 games left. They're 3-7 in their last 10.
Yep.
Phillies are 9-1 in their last 10, but that includes 9 in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's been the biggest part. But let's get back to this college football deal with that. Now, breaking news right before we came on, Xavion Harris has also committed to the LSU Tigers. He played defensive tackle at Ole Miss. He is on or was on the New Orleans Saints roster for the preseason, and so now we've got 2 players, and so not just 1.
So the transfer portal is now when NFL makes their cuts.
Right. So that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, that's one of the ESPN things today was thanks to the NCAA, the NFL waiver wire is the new national signing day.
Yep.
Yeah. So I just want to say this.
Or the portal window's just reopened.
Dominique Batiste said, how about them Tigers making big moves? He's a big LSU fan, so we hear you, Dominique, but we're not so happy about that. Nick Baldwin said, props to Notre Dame and Coach Freeman for coming out against this, and it hurts me to give any props to Notre Dame for anything.
Yeah, his was also against taking transfer portal people this late.
Yeah, due to the roster being set and also depth charts.
That's right.
That's the part that Ryan Day brought up today when he was asked about it, too.
So let me take you down another fun rabbit hole. All right, so this guy, unrestricted free agent, let's say, I don't know exactly how this works, so I could be a little wrong on this, but I think technically, in order for this to work, the Cleveland Browns have to cut him, right?
Right. Well, he has to be on the waiver wire.
Exactly.
And then he has to be.
Right.
He has to clear waivers.
So, who does LSU open the season with?
Clemson.
Are there any Clemson alumni in front offices in the NFL? Claim him for a week?
Yeah,
You
could.
He can't play against.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny because it's sad, and I'm laughing so I don't cry.
Yeah, because this is not what we signed up for. This is not what – because you brought up another part of it, that what about school? You've got to graduate. You've got to be enrolled. It's the part that we can't allow is not to allow these guys to be enrolled in school. They have to be a college student to be able to play a college sport. I know Lenore Sellers has his intern with the golf course and that deal, but you've got to still – he's finished. He finished his school.
A lot of them go into grad school programs anyway, good and bad.
Yeah.
And then let's face it, 90% of the top-level athletes are doing everything online now anyway. They're never on campus.
They're not there.
So –
yeah, they're never there anyway. That's okay with me. That's fine. If they want to be away, some of them do it because they feel like they're celebrities and they don't want to get – but also some of them, I will say this, just so everyone knows, there have been – and I know some people that know some people, all right? I'm just going to leave that part at this. When you are an online student, you can have someone sitting beside you for your test – and you can take your test.
Yes and no.
And they can say they might hold up a 2, or they might hold up a 1, or they might hold up a 3.
So
that's going on.
Yes and no. I actually had a little experience with this when I finished. I actually finished online because I took 12 years off or whatever I did. Yeah. But there actually are proctors who are watching you during tests. Now, assignments and things like that, yes, you could have anybody around you for that. Now, how good the proctors are depends on each individual situation. But there are supposed to be proctors for your testing and what you have to take. And theoretically, if they do what they're supposed to do, there would be nobody around you signaling you. Now, this day and age with electronics and everything like that, who knows what's going on?
I mean, I could have Jeff on the other side of the room.
Look,
we could have a red and a blue light, and he could shine blue or red.
I remember in chemistry in college, and this is back, when God knows we were barely using an abacus, but no, they had just started using those alphanumeric calculators, for all the functions.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is I would type in the answers to a bunch of stuff in the alphanumeric thing. So I would just get my calculator out like I was using it for something and do that. Because the statute of limitations is over on taking my diploma.
There we go.
away.
That's right. They can't
look, there's a million ways around it, but the problem is, and we want it to be the old rules again, amateur college athletics. It is not amateur college athletics anymore. It was never going to be as soon as the money got this big.
Yeah.
The fact that they're actually able to capitalize on their name, image, and likeness is actually correct with the money that's going on. I don't love it, but it's correct. Mm-hmm. So we need to fix it there. We cannot put this genie back in the bottle.
No.
It's out. It's not. You need to stop thinking of it as amateur college athletics. It is not anymore.
No.
So we've got to fix professional college athletics.
Well, Humpty Dumpty has already fallen off the wall. He is not going to be put back together again. So this is what we've got. We've got to figure out, are we going to make an egg sandwich? Or are we going hard-boiled egg? Whatever we're doing. We're doing something. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to dive into more of this. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Is Paul right or is Paul wrong? Call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line, 850-215-6290.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. A variety of light sprinkles and mostly sunshine the rest of the day with temps near 92 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. A mixture of partly cloudy skies and very light rain tonight and a temperature of 80. About the same tomorrow, around 89 with some sun in the morning, but otherwise likely thunderstorms. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
This summer, Hard Rock Bet has the hottest baseball betting odds in Florida. Vig, juice, fee, whatever you call it, we're cutting it. It's the 10-cent summer sale. That's flat 10-cent lines for winner, spread, and over-under pregame bets. Same bets, better odds. This August, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Valid for moneyline, spread and over, under pregame markets with odds between -250 and +250 only. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Motor City New and Used Tire Center. Burn rubber, not your wallet. Cruise into Panama City's newest tire paradise. Motor City New and Used Tire Center is now open. For all sizes and the best prices in town, it's the new Motor City New and Used Tire Center. 2015 West 15th Street, Panama City, between Frankfort and Lincoln, where the rubber meets the road and the prices hit the floor. It's Motor City New and Used Tire Center. Call 850-215-3040. 850-215-3040.
Football season is right around the corner.
Touchdown!
And 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has an unbelievable schedule of college and NFL games. Do you own a business, want to reach more customers? Put the power of ESPN Northwest Florida to work for you. Advertising opportunities are available right now. For more information, call 850-215-4468 or go to espnpc.com and click the contact button.
Pull up a chair, Braves country, because your Atlanta Braves are ready to play ball on the Braves Radio Network.
And he swings it. It's one high and deep to left field. Green to the wall, and it's gone! Home run, Ozzie Albies!
Tomorrow night, one of baseball's biggest matchups comes to Truist Park as the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Atlanta for a 3-game series with the Braves.
Braves-Dodgers. Coverage starts tomorrow at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eat your Wheaties. It's the fastest 2 hours in sports. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. Real talk for the real sports fan. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Your spot for the Atlanta Braves. The Braves are off tonight, but we will be picking them back up very soon. If you want to be a part of this show, you can call in or text in on the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line, 850-215-6290. You can also go on our Facebook page and comment there. We've been reading those. I know you guys are very happy about LSU getting all these former pro players to come in because that's exactly what they are.
It's going to make 8 and 4 that much sweeter.
It is.
They're still pro players because getting paid by LSU.
They're all pros.
I'm okay with it as long as they're still enrolled in school and that they're taking classes that are affording them the opportunity to go to, to get a degree. If they don't get a degree, that's on them, whatever. I get it. But I do think they have to, regardless of if they're doing it online or if they're actually going in, as long as they're enrolled in school, I'm okay with it because to me, that's always been my biggest thing for amateur sports because this is the deal. Whether anybody, you guys can chime in on this and agree with me or disagree with me, which is fine. No matter how they were going to get money, they were going to get money. So regardless of if we want to put in our minds that these guys were not getting paid before, and I know we got the Reggie Bushes and all this other stuff that, all of this was going on. This has been going on for years, and it's just legal now, and at least they can tell you how much they're making. Now, I don't believe they were making the money that they're making now, but I do think that, they were making the money, and I'm okay with them making money, and this is probably going to shock both of you. I could care less about how much they make. As long as the college and whoever's afforded them to do it can afford it and the taxpayers aren't paying for it, I'm okay with that. If they want to make $20 million, if Texas wants to pay $20 million to Arch Manning to be their quarterback next year, I have zero cares about that as long as Arch Manning is in school. That's it. He's got to be in school. That's it. So, and he could take underwater basking weaving for all I care and let that be his degree. It doesn't matter to me.
I don't agree with it because he's a sports fanatic. And I don't want this whole system and everything that's going on to bankrupt my college.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It won't. This is where it gets tricky. They're not directly pulling like from taxpayer money on state institutions or anything for this. But what they are doing is, and this is something we talked about when NIL exploded and all of this, is you keep going back and trying to squeeze the same lemon for different things. You used to go back to your alumni for, facilities and for donations. You're back on campus for football and give us some money for the new football building. And by the way, the Kim E building needs something,
right.
Something like that. So you had it certainly for that. Now you're going back to the same people to pay for the buyouts of all of these coaches because you're moving on the coach. Oh, yeah, by the way, now we're going back to the exact same people for NIL.
Yep.
And so indirectly, the more you keep pulling the money out of that, maybe the facilities aren't getting upgraded at the same level. Maybe they start having to figure out new ways for that. That's where maybe they start leaning on the state a little bit, and then could be where the taxpayer money starts getting abused.
Well, let me tell you, I heard it today from an Auburn guy. They're building like crazy on campus.
Oh, yeah.
I've been to Knoxville. Guess what they're doing in Tennessee? They're building like crazy. The dorms, everything. It's just everything's going to be brand new. Guess where I just came back from?
LSU.
Baton Rouge. And guess what? That campus
looks the same.
It is not even close.
It's great.
They're blowing up,
That's
especially along Nicholson Extension, which is like the kind of southwest side of campus. I don't even recognize it anymore. I drive and I go, that used to be woods, it used to be trees and all that. Oh, the golf course is over here, now it's over there. Alex Box Stadium is over there, now it's over here.
Yeah.
It's a different place, Paul.
Yeah, I believe you.
But I'm not lost yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I can find Tiger Stadium.
Well, you're geographically inclined.
I
so
am.
You are the resident.
I never lost my bearings, but I was like, oh my
You
goodness.
do start to lose your kind of landmarks, though, where you can kind of center where you are on
and
things.
the other thing I don't like about it is you can't drive through campus. They
No.
got these arms down, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
That was starting to
No
become...
more streaking.
No. 10 to 15 years ago, that was all the rage, just turning every campus into what they call a walking campus.
Yes.
And Mississippi State did the same thing last time I was up there, the main drag through. That.
And there's one part.
And don't get me wrong, it's probably good because people kept getting hit in the crosswalks there, but
Dodge.
Well, again, you got the big jacked up trucks you can't see down there. You know?
And they're like this.
Well, Kyle Albritton said it still smells like corn dogs. So
wow.
All right, we're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We've got Arnold on the line. Arnold, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How y'all guys doing today?
Great.
What I'm wondering is if these guys that go to the NFL and play, if they're not coming back to college just for one more big payday because they're through in the NFL, basically, like Darryl Green. Darryl Green can outrun everybody in the NFL at 40 years old.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that they're washed up athletically. They just don't want to go through it.
Yep.
And, by the way, tell Jeffrey he ain't going to bankrupt LSU when he got Troy Landry going to catch some more alligators. Y'all have a good day.
All right, thank you so much.
Shoot him.
Shoot him.
Shoot him.
Yeah.
There ain't no shoot. It's a shoot.
So I agree with him. I don't think these guys will go. I think that would be last case scenarios. These businesses, they will be on everything that is there. Their names will be on everything. It's going to be like NASCAR when you walk to the buildings. If they need monies to rebuild the schools, that's what they're going to do because all of that stuff is write-offs. All of that stuff is a part of making sure that these teams are winning. Can y'all believe this, though? That all of this that we're talking about, all of this money that's changing hands, talking about changing the facilities, talking about making stuff, and you saw it firsthand, how it's all like that, all of that is to win football games.
Yeah.
It's to win football games. They got to have the people there. They want new stuff, so they don't want roofs falling on top of their heads, but they want to win football games.
I'll disagree, but go
well, in a sense, here's what a winning football program gets your university. Re-engagement and donations all day long to everything. Pride. Enrollment.
Enrollment, especially.
All of
the
it.
enrollment.
Let me tell you what Alabama's been doing for years now.
Of course.
They're getting all these Pennsylvania kids, and they're not just Philadelphia. They're all over Pennsylvania. And they have direct flights, more direct flights now than ever, going from Philadelphia or even Pittsburgh, going to Birmingham.
The best advertising for the university. It's in the most homes. It's seen by the most people is the football program.
Yes. And they're selling the football experience because Penn State has been a nobody.
Brings you back on campus, alumni events, everything reconnects you to your school. And look, we all loved our colleges. You know, we did. I did. I know I did. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. And there is something because it was kind of where you started to do things on your own, and that's why it's always special. So it reconnects you to that. But there was a great article that was done years ago. I wish I could remember who did it, but it was basically asking the question, when Nick Saban first went to maybe $9 million or whatever a year that he went to, was he underpaid? And they actually laid out the data, and before Nick Saban and then after Nick Saban, you know, after a couple national championships, the enrollment spiked, the engagement spiked, the donation spiked, and all like this. And they actually made the case that Nick Saban should probably be paid north of $25 million a year for the money he generated and that football program generated for the university. So, yes, football is that important, and yes, creating at least a competitive and most of the time winning program that is constantly getting on TV and a source of pride for your alumni and your general fans, because we all know there's a lot of people who are you'd think were big-time boosters that never touch foot on the campus other than going to football games. But it is huge for them, and it's huge for the college as a whole, not just the athletic department.
And they're determining all of that. I mean, and you think of every single person that files into Tuscaloosa, into the stadium, LSU, whatever. They're going to eat, they're going to drink, they're going to do all of that. Who's going to be in there? Well, Pepsi or Coke or Bud Light or whoever. All these different. All of that's bringing more money, more money, more money, more money. As long as they don't touch the state money that are coming in off taxes, I'm 100% okay. I don't care, because realistically, it's exactly what you said. And I think I read that article. Nick Saban made Alabama what it is today. And there's probably more than one building that he built just because of the money.
The flip side of that, and we saw this too, was SMU. When they get, the reason they'll never give another death penalty again is it severely impacted the university.
Right.
Those years of not having football. That was something really nobody thought it was going to be that severe. Mm-hmm. And when they started looking at the numbers on that, I don't think they will ever give the death penalty again.
No.
It was brutal, not just for football, which you can argue has never really come back. I mean, they're at least semi-competitive now. But what it did to the university for at least a decade, they're never going to give that again. So football is that important to the overall university.
But getting back to Lane Kiffin, I mean, do you believe that now, I mean, good Lord, do we just need to go ahead and get the white paint and the red paint and the green paint and go ahead and paint his face the Joker, because everybody is going to hate him because of all of this? I mean, you've got all of this stuff that he's done. You know, I'll read it to you because I made a little post about it.
Somebody else is going to do it, Paul.
Listen, Lane Kiffin is on generational villain run right now. Think about what he did. Left Ole Miss for LSU right before the playoffs.
Okay.
Tried to poach all of Ole Miss's players and coaches. Mm-hmm. Brought up Ole Miss racial history. Mm-hmm. Moonlights as an influencer with college girls. Mm-hmm. Just added 2 players from the NFL rosters. I mean, everybody in their mama. He is going to surpass Steve Spurrier, Jimmy Johnson, anybody. If you don't go to LSU, they're going to hate Lane Kiffin from that. You think Tennessee hated him. You think Ole Miss hates him. You're thinking everybody in the country, every game is going to have signs. Every game that he goes to, he's probably going to be yelled and mocked and all of that. I mean, this is not just an Ole Miss Tennessee thing now. This is a huge thing, because you're going to have these people, and if you hear how these coaches, Marcus Freeman, Ryan Day, some of these other guys, how they've come out and talked about how they're not going to do it. A lot of that is because these guys want to be liked. Lane Kiffin could care less.
I would tell him just to lean into it at this point.
Yes.
But I will say this. They're not going to truly hate Lane Kiffin unless he beats them. That's if Lane Kiffin, with doing all this, goes 7-5, 8-4, they ain't gonna care. But if he starts going to the SEC championship game, winning it, and making deep playoff runs, that's when it's going to get really like what you think it's going to be. Because that's ultimately what it comes down to. If he's doing all of this nonsense and he's not a threat and he's going 7-5, nobody's going to care.
Yeah, I mean, he won't be there long if he goes 7-5.
But the vitriol will amp up, just like it did with Spurrier. The real reason everybody hated Spurrier wasn't the stuff he said, wasn't any of that stuff, was trolling, it's because he was beating them every year, and he was going 11-1, and he was winning the SEC championship. That's why they couldn't stand Steve Spurrier.
Yeah. And he'd, just like Jimmy Johnson, he'd run it up.
Same thing. So
he lost one game when he didn't run it up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the purists are going to have issues with a lot of the stuff Lane Kiffin does. They have back to his, days at, Tennessee and USC and all of that too. He really isn't all that different in a lot of that stuff. He is going to take advantage of every opportunity he can. He always has been that way. But it's only going to matter if he just starts beating everybody.
Yeah.
Then they're going to beat.
And that's the thing. If he wins a national title within the next 2 years, 3 years, which is what you're saying he's going to do, I mean, what does this mean?
I don't know if it's going to be 2 or 3 years.
Well, you said here how many?
He'll get one.
That's what you've been saying. So how long? How long is it going to take?
I don't know. It
3 to 5?
It depends.
I'm
depends
just saying.
upon how much talent he's got there, because you just can't win it just on the sidelines. Trust me, you got to get the players out there that are studs.
Yeah, well, I mean, they've got the players. They're getting the players. They're getting players from the NFL rosters right now as we speak. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
You know, this also highlights another long-time rant of mine, which is I hate the 53-man roster in the NFL. There's no reason it should be that small.
Yeah.
Because what they end up having to do, and just wait, because the flip side of this is going to come around, because we always get halfway through the NFL season, what happens? All these guys start getting injured, and they start going to go get these guys who've been working out, on the side, being ready. Now they're just going to go poach them out of the colleges.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Wow.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. I believe they're going to somehow, some way get some kind of antitrust to it, though.
Well, they're going to have to,
it's
but
coming.
you can't do that quick.
No, it's going to be a long process.
So what I'm saying is this whole thing, it's just crazy, and it's nutty, and we haven't seen the worst of it yet, I don't think, because the 53-man, I actually know why they do it. It's a money-saving thing. It is also the players are in favor of it because it boosts their salaries too, because you're 53 instead of 75. There's no reason they shouldn't have 75. Then college team has 105 players on it.
Yeah.
Murphy High School had 90.
Yeah.
On our varsity, squad. Why in the world do they have 53? It's in order to artificially inflate salaries and keep the overall payroll down for the owners. It's the one thing owners and players agree on they like.
Yeah.
But they need to push that, because that way there would be fewer of these people in the lurch could go back and forth.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Albritton said, he's saying this to you, he will never win a national title in his life. Book it. And then Christopher Multiconti said, Brian has a lot of hate in his heart, just so you know. All right, so either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we
Did
come
I say
back,
something against Miami again?
No, not yet.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to keep going, talking about this college football season that we are in week 0. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
I want to say something to Coach Hale.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what kind of football coach you were, but you were one hell of a radio man.
Don't tell him that. I was even better. I was even better.
His head just took up the whole room.
Yeah, he'll never get out the door now.
Let me tell you how good I was. I could take his and beat yours, and take yours and beat his. We just lost him. He hung up on us. He hung up. I started bragging myself. Yeah.
Who ran a fake punt 2 times in a row?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, man.
From inside his own 40.
Oh, yeah.
They'll never think.
Inside her own 30.
That's a true story. I said, y'all don't know which one y'all call them plays, but I was like, they'll never think we'll do this again. He goes, I'm telling you, don't do it, because he was defense coach. Don't, we're going to be embarrassed. I'm telling you, that's
James, what are you doing? Don't run it again.
No one would think. Nobody's that stupid. And sure enough, they stopped at that. And I turned around and started yelling at one of the assistant coaches. All the players were yelling and screaming at me. It was crazy.
Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means Florida from Texas to California, every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with code NWFlorida. Spend $5 to get 200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code NWFlorida in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms: dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide, based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Football season is right around the corner. Touchdown! And 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has an unbelievable schedule of college and NFL games. Do you own a business, want to reach more customers? Put the power of ESPN Northwest Florida to work for you. Advertising opportunities are available right now. For more information, call 850-215-4468 or go to espnpc.com and click the contact button. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Brandon Strickland from Recommended Collision Center, Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
At Recommended Collision Center, we're all about taking care of our community, and advertising on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has helped us do just that. Social media ads were getting stale, but the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson gave us a fresh way to reach local customers. We've seen more vehicles coming in for estimates, more phone calls, and more people recognizing our name. It's been a great partnership for our business, pairing up with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to espnpc.com and click the contact button. Get your message heard and cut through the clutter. Go to espnpc.com and click the contact button.
Pound the like and crush the subscribe. Follow us on social media for the latest sports news, scores, and updates. Keeping you in the game. The new Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves are off tonight, but they will be back. If you want to be a part of this show, all you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line. 850-215-6290 is the way you do that. You can also go on our Facebook page, ESPN Northwest Florida. You can like, comment, subscribe, share all of the stuff. You can talk about what you think these guys are saying and whether or not they're truthful or not. I'm just telling you this. The Lane Kiffin deal, to me, is just it's taken on its own. It's almost like last year, because let's think about it. When he was at Tennessee, he was just a regular coach, right? Everybody was just like, he's normal, nothing crazy.
I mean, he had been in the NFL already.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as he's his own little bubble now. We don't talk about Kirby. We don't talk about Brent. The only time we mention Brent Venables is if we're talking about Oklahoma's team.
Hang on, that's
and if
not
we're
true.
talking, yes,
No.
it is.
Well, no, we talked about Kirby a lot last year, and that he's the new Saban getting all the calls.
But other than stuff like
he's
that,
clapping in a timeout symbol
he
and all.
didn't want- he's got to do something
I know what
crazy.
you're saying. It's not to the same level.
No.
But you can't say they don't talk about him.
They don't talk
do.
about him like him. Who else is name another coach that's famous? Signetti. But they talk about Signetti only recency bias and only because of them winning the national title and going undefeated.
Day.
They don't. Nobody really talks about it.
Day doesn't have that kind of attitude. The only time Day ever showed that level of attitude was when he was firing back at Holtz.
Yeah.
But Day doesn't have that kind of attitude. But Kiffin has always had the young, brash, upstart kind of attitude, and it's grown. And he had it a little at Tennessee.
Right.
And a lot of it was to try and, galvanize the fan base behind him, and it worked.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, the reason we were talking on the break, the reason the Tennessee fans hate him is because they could not wrap their head around a coach voluntarily leaving them to go somewhere else.
Yes.
Because they thought they were top 10.
Yeah, Alabama had the same thing with Franchione.
Yeah,
it was the exact same thing. It was a hit to the ego.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, okay, you're going to go to the NFL. All right, maybe we can wrap our head around that. Or we fire you. Yeah, that's fine.
Yes.
Or you're old and you retire. Okay, but if you're going to leave us to go to another school, we're Tennessee. We're Alabama. Right. We can't take the ego hit of that.
Ole Miss had a little bit of that. They didn't feel like felt like LSU was the greater team. I get it with the greater results, but they still felt like, man, why not just we're going to the playoffs? LSU's not. They're down.
Some of that is the rivalry. The Ole Miss LSU rivalry is a big deal. It has been a big deal for a very long time.
Bigger now.
No, I agree.
It's bigger now.
It's bigger for them.
But I do think had Lane Kiffin gone to Florida, which is what it looked like originally to a lot of people, I don't think it would have been as vitriolic as it was to LSU. They wouldn't have loved it, but I do think it was different going to LSU.
And also, you have that excuse. Well, he grew up in Florida, or his wife, his ex-wife's family.
I think a lot of Ole Miss fans had resigned themselves to, okay, if he does it, there's some personal reasons. We don't love it, but we get it. And
but he
did a good job here.
No connection to LSU, except for he used to work with Coach O.
Yeah.
And he wants to win, and he felt like Louisiana was the place to go.
Well,
I'm just saying, though. But can we say now, though, you've got college football in a circle over here, and then you've got this small little college circle over here that says Lane Kiffin. Like, we talked about Lane Kiffin all year last year. We're talking about him right before the season starts already. This is where I'm saying Lane Kiffin has made himself this little bubble that he is going to be in the news no matter what. Now, it will if they lose, he's going to be in the news.
Sure.
If they win, he's going to be in the news.
But why are we talking about him? There were a lot of big, high-profile jobs open last year. Which one of them did not want him? I can't think of one.
Not one.
They all wanted him.
Yeah. There were Alabama's fans were wanting Kalen DeBoer to leave so Lane Kiffin could come. We wanted to fire him and trade him away.
And everything we say about Lane Kiffin now we've said for years. None of it is new. There's a new topic of the same theme. Like, this isn't new for him. So, he is a dynamic personality who has had some success, not nearly as much as his name value attributes, but he has had some success, and a lot of people would like him to be. He is the perfect example of we hate him unless he's ours.
That is true.
He's just
and that's
a perfect
why,
example of it.
That's why when we were talking about it, and here we go, we're going to get fired up a little bit. When we were talking all about it, and he was everybody, and I come out and said it looks like before the LSU job was open, this was before the LSU job was open, the only job that was open of this significance to me was Penn State and Florida. Me and Jeffrey argued for a month talking about whether or not Penn State's a bigger job than Florida. Mm-hmm. And then I said, well, Lane Kiffin's probably going to Florida. Then the LSU job opened up, and then boom, it's like, oh man, he ain't going to Florida, he's going to LSU. Now, exactly the words that you just said. Until he's your coach, right? When we would come in here on this show, and I would start talking about Lane Kiffin, he would all but shake his head, put his hands on his head.
Yeah. Remain
Why are
quiet.
we talking about Lane Kiffin?
Yes.
And he did not like Lane Kiffin, and he didn't say anything good about Lane Kiffin. He just said, I don't really care. I don't want to talk about Lane Kiffin. And it just seemed like every time you turn around, there was stuff coming up that we had to talk about it. But it's on a larger scale now that he's at LSU. It's larger than Ole Miss, FAU, all that stuff.
I'm saying it's not new that it's been that way with other coaches.
I don't know about
No,
this.
it has.
Not on this level.
He's the one now.
Who's been at his level that with social media behind it like he is?
Social media is a newer thing.
Nobody knew anything about hot yoga realistically until Lane Kiffin started talking about it, right? But what I am going into my original thought is that Jeffrey is sitting over there and he's smiling and he's nudging. If Lane, I'm going to say this right now. You might want to record this, Bone Crusher. If Lane Kiffin was at the University of Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Jeff would be coming unglued and talking about all this. But because he's at LSU and he's at the school of the baton, of the bat, right? Baton Rouge. Red stick.
Yeah.
Then the reasoning is Jeffrey's just like, well, okay, he's our coach.
Well, he is. It's his coach.
You know what?
So your point is exactly right. Unless he's your coach, you ain't got nothing to say
There's
about
not
him.
even anything wrong with it.
You've fallen into his trap. You know why? I don't know if you think he's a narcissist or anything like that.
Of course.
Okay. He's the Donald Trump of college football coaches. Everybody's talking about him. He's the most polarizing coach there is. That's what Donald Trump is to politics right now. He doesn't care if he messes you over. He just wants to win.
Yes.
It's like Charlie Sheen. Winning
is everything.
That's all he cares about. He doesn't care what people think of him. That's exactly like Donald Trump.
And you don't care because you really feel like that he's going to get you one national title, and you've already said it.
Just one.
All I want is one, and you can do whatever you want.
Yep. Well, I don't know about anything. You can't do like Coach O and start hitting on married women at the gas station.
He did, and he's back. He did, and he's back.
Lane doesn't go to the gas station. He just goes to the sorority house.
Wow.
All I know is
So
that
I've heard.
I just think
Hey, they haven't changed Sorority Road.
Allegedly.
I just think it's so funny though because if this was Alabama, you'd be coming out of your seat talking about, oh my God, they're cheating.
But
They're
by
not
the same
they're bringing
token,
NFL players.
But by the same token, you and I'd be like, he's all right.
Yeah,
No,
Yes, we would.
I was
You'd be like,
against it.
whatever gets the end result is what y'all would say.
I
Yes,
was against.
you are
I was
so-
against
you're
the basketball.
full of it.
Hold on, I was against the basketball thing. I was totally
Yeah,
against
but
it.
you didn't say fire Nate Oates.
I didn't want him there if he was going to do that.
No. You didn't want Bediako there.
I didn't want Bediako there for sure.
You didn't say fire Nate Oates.
No, I mean, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I just want to make sure. I just want to let the record show that Jeffrey's acting way cool and calm and collective over this, and it's exactly what you said. It's because he's on my. We got Coach O. We don't agree with him, but can y'all just win us one? And that's all I care about.
I will say this: as many things as Lane Kiffin deserves a lot of grief over, and there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he should do it. This isn't his problem. Okay? This is a problem of the entire world we're in right now with college/professional athletics. Okay? I don't get that hot about him doing it. Again, I wouldn't do it. I don't get that hot about him doing it. This needs to be cleaned up over his pay grade.
Yeah.
And it needs to be done. I think almost all of us can agree that this needs to be cleaned up. So again, there's plenty to hold against Lane Kiffin. This one per se, I don't. The fact that I love the story about Walker Jones saying the Grove Collective that they swept all the offices for bugs with the FBI after Kiffin left. I thought that one was hilarious. So there's plenty to be worried about with Lane Kiffin. This one, though, again, he's taking advantage of a situation that he probably, as head coach, should, even though I don't like it. So this one, even though he's doing it, this isn't Lane Kiffin's problem to be clean.
No, and that's the one thing that he come out with his press conference was that he said, these are the rules that you guys have put in place. We're just going by the rules. And you know what? He wasn't really, even though there's been times where he's been a smart aleck, get your popcorn ready, do this, do that, all that. But this part about it all is that he was being legitimately like he knew this was going to happen. And Todd Monken said, I didn't realize why Lane Kiffin called my office last week. He said, I had no idea. I never talked to him. He left a message for, hey, can you give me a call? But he already knew.
How's Deshaun Watson looking? He's
got
a year left.
He already knew, though, that this was going to happen. And he was already prepared. He was this didn't catch Lane. This wasn't some ticker at night that you can do this now, or hey, he got a call from one of his do boys and said hey you could probably do this. No, this is something that they have done on their own. They understood the way that the rules are set and who was available and who could come back. That's why they knew that's exactly what it was going to be. So I don't hold him in necessarily. This will just be another one of those things.
So with that being said, is he playing chess or checkers?
No, I think he's just I just think he's playing. I don't think it was a chess move more than it was just.
He's ahead of the curve on this, Paul.
At the end of the day,
I think there's other coaches doing this.
Here's what has.
I don't believe he's the only one.
Here's what's yet to be determined, though, and none of us can know this right now, including Lane Kiffin. Talent-wise, this could be a good upgrade for LSU. I mean, this is a guy who was in the NFL.
Yeah.
How does it all mesh together? Because it isn't just about assembling talent. Okay, that'll get you in the door. It's kind of like a resume will get you in the door, but you got to win the interview.
Well, it's going to bring you depth, though.
Yeah, but how is that going to destabilize potentially? There was a starting tight end until today, right?
Right. Yeah. No, that's true.
How does this affect all of that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions to be answered, and that's where Lane Kiffin can earn his money for LSU, is if he can find a way to mesh all this together. He finally did there at Ole Miss because he did it through the portal, being smart, being ahead of the game, and he got it to work last year. Can he do that with LSU? Because we've seen it can just as sensationally go wrong.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our last break of the hour. When we come back, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you sick of the old sports talk, the vanilla opinions, the polite debates, the hosts who are afraid to say what they really think? So are we. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is bringing the house. It's the new Sports Blitz. Weekdays 11 to 1. We're not pulling punches. We're digging graves. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. A mixture of partly cloudy skies and very light rain tonight with a low near 80 and a wind 3 to 7 miles per hour. Very light showers and a likelihood of thunderstorms tomorrow morning and a temperature of 86. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 88 with possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. Possible thunderstorms Wednesday and very warm around 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover the new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. Get behind the wheel of an exciting new 2026 Kia model where advanced technology, confidence-inspiring safety, and premium comfort come together for every drive. Looking for an SUV? Check out the stylish new 2026 Kia Sportage or the family-ready new 2026 Kia Sorento. And if you need more room, the innovative new 2026 Kia Carnival MPV delivers SUV-inspired design with plenty of room for all of your adventures. Bringing style and performance together, experience the bold new 2026 Kia K4 and new 26 Kia K5. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the original 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, giving you peace of mind that you can trust. Visit Bill Bird Kia at 2435 East 15th Street in Panama City or online anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Bill Bird Kia, your local community dealer, where we treat you like family. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details.
Football season is right around the corner. Touchdown! And 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has an unbelievable schedule of college and NFL games. Do you own a business, want to reach more customers? Put the power of ESPN Northwest Florida to work for you. Advertising opportunities are available right now. For more information, call 850-215-4468 or go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
WJSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Back to the gap at the wall. Out of here!
Pull up a chair, Braves country, because your Atlanta Braves are ready to play ball on the Braves Radio Network.
And he swings and it's one high and deep to left field. Green to the wall, and it's gone! Home run, Ozzy Albies!
Tomorrow night, one of baseball's biggest matchups comes to Truist Park as the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Atlanta for a 3-game series with the Braves.
Braves-Dodgers. Coverage starts tomorrow at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
The sports world is a battlefield of opinions.
Auburn's got a serious problem.
And every day, Paul Wilson brings the heat, the fire, and the definitive take.
They are not finding ways to get him the football.
Don't just follow the headlines.
But they lost 2 road games, and these 2 teams are ranked number 5 and number 6.
Be a part of the story on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the top. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share. Right now.
We are live and local, and it's 5 o'clock, and you made it through Monday, baby. And it is time for the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tomorrow night travel to the Dodgers. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. The Braves on the Gulf Coast are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Bill Bird Kia, PCB Hobby, Cito, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories right here in the Panhandle.
Dodgers won 6 in a row, too.
Yes, they have.
Ugh.
If you want to be a part of this show, all you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line. 850-215-6290 is the way you do that. And speaking of, we're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We've got Edward patiently waiting. Ed, what's going on today, my friend?
Not much. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
We're doing good. We're talking about this guy named Lane Kiffin. You being in Texas, what do you think about Lane Kiffin?
First off, we can get to him in a minute, but I'm going to let y'all know, man. Hey, I hope you guys have those little bunion things for your seats because the Dodgers are going to spank y'all. So bad.
Here we go.
Man,
Guess what,
we're
Ed?
gonna Smoke you, dude.
Guess
We're
what?
gonna
Oh,
spank
your
you
line
with
is
the
breaking
grandpa.
up.
Hold
Why
on.
don't we break a switch off a tree because we're going to spank y'all so bad.
Time out, Ed. Guess what? I disagree with you. Bam!
Oh, man.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah,
Got
really.
him.
Got it.
All right, so enough of this nonsense. Let's get back to the topic at hand. Lane Kiffin in Texas, San Antonio specifically. What's the love for him over there?
You know, man, it's a personal opinion. I don't think personally, I'm not the world's greatest fan of him. A lot of these coaches are just recycled over and over, and they all think they're the greatest. They get hooked up with a team, they do good for a little bit, then they lose. It's just such a recycled thing, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's the greatest coach. He's always been a great assistant coach, but as a head coach, I've never seen him I don't personally think he's a great head coach. You know, and behind the scenes, yes, but up front, no. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, again, he did good last year. I would have liked to have saw what he would have done in the playoffs. I mean, I think they did about what I think he would have done. He's always been that guy that has never, he always threw games. There was always going to be a game or two that he would lose against a team that he wasn't supposed to. And that always happened in his entirety of his career as being a head coach.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been a good coach, but not a great coach. Is that okay to say something like that?
He's very good at sensing the trends of where things are going and getting in front of it. Mm-hmm. He was great early with the portal. He's great with this. I mean, he is very good at that. As an Alabama fan, I always appreciate what he did there as offensive coordinator because he broke the string of what Alabama's offense was for generations.
True.
He was the guy who made that change, who went out and got those top-level quarterbacks to want to come to Alabama. The only one we had gotten before that was Brody Croyle, and he was a legacy.
Yeah, yeah.
So so I appreciated that. So I think he is good at sensing a trend and getting out front of it. The way Calipari did with the one-and-dones. The problem is, once Cal did that well, he got stuck in that and couldn't get out of it. Kiffin's pretty good at being able to sense and move, but you're right. He always cost them 1 or 2 games a year with decisions that he made.
The closest equivalent to Lane Kiffin is Sarkisian, and Lane was never drunk on the sideline.
That you know of. Wow.
That's true.
But, Ed, I do appreciate the call, my friend, as always, buddy.
Go Dodgers.
Thanks so much.
Stuck it in. Hey, but you know what? The Braves have the Rockies after that. So, it's a roller coaster ride for the Braves.
It's okay. I'm going to preface this with we are not going down this road before, but I will say this. The reason I am a Lane Kiffin fan just for today, and generally I don't have any real issue with him. He's who he is. He's whatever. But here's why I like him today. Because I thought for sure, because you do this to me every friggin' week, I thought for sure the first hour I was going to say the name Enos Cantor Freedom 1,000 times today.
We didn't talk about it.
This was Lane Kiffin. Thank you, Lane, because I didn't want to go down that road today.
Yeah. Who? Yeah, the guy from the WNBA that's filed his paperwork.
Every week, it's like, come step on this landmine, why don't you?
Well, I'm glad Brian brought it up. No, I'm kidding. I do want to say this.
We're not going down that road.
I do want to say this, though. I want to bring up what you talked about because this was a big story that you were talking about before we went to the break. The NIL Collective executive director says agents searched football offices for recording devices after Lane Kiffin left for LSU. That legitimately happened. I wonder if that's the first time that something like this has ever happened. And I just can't believe that it was on that level. They did not trust Lane Kiffin. Now it kind of lets you understand why they were not going to let the guy coach in the playoffs. It was definitely not his decision. He definitely did come out and say, what he thought, and it ended up being correct. They did not want Lane Kiffin there, and with them doing that with the FBI going in there and making sure there's no bugs, that they think Lane Kiffin's going to bug an office to make sure he can get back stuff on the Ole Miss coaches.
And he was going to poach all the players that he wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, I'll say this. I think some of that was a little embellished. But I'll tell you this. Number one, I guarantee you offices have been bugged before.
Oh, of course. They have
because
to be.
How many stories we got about people up in trees with cameras and long lenses and all this? Look, it is an arms race. And we know. I mean, just go to the what's his name up at Michigan, the Stallions.
Yeah.
That whole thing. I'll say this. If you don't sweep all the offices after a coach leaves you and goes somewhere else, particularly in conference, I think you're not doing your job. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
He's paranoid.
Why take the but seriously, why take the chance? Why take the chance? I would. I'd sweep them.
Yeah.
Don't you believe that?
And now let me put my tinfoil hat back.
Don't you believe, though, that, everything is that way? I mean, phones, connections, because you know as well as I do, when you get into a place like that, like Nick Saban, for example, they would always tell the stories about him going and golfing. Who's he going to golf with? Because it wasn't his assistant coaches, because they were trying to go golf and they wanted to be on a different course than he was, because they didn't want him to think that they wasn't out doing football stuff.
Right.
But they were out going. Like Kirby tells stories all the time about they used to go to this one and coach would change his time and go to that one, and they'd have to all run and scatter like a bunch of roaches when the lights turned on. But do you guys believe that these guys that go to these colleges and are the main guy, that these boosters, that these guys, they don't become best friends? They're not. They're loyal to people, and I would even say that they would probably be like, hey, Lane was really close with this guy, and he owns this business, and I'm not sure if he's a plant or if Lane was over at his house or he was at Lane's house, because there's connections and they become to be best friends. And the thing is that I think there's a even greater step. So I'll put my tin hat back on.
When I was at Mississippi State, Jackie Sherrill was our head coach, and Jackie had issues, with the NCAA before. Some of them he had earned, some of them I don't think he had, but. And he was always just kind of a little standoffish with everybody. He was very professional. Every now and then he'd let his guard down, but a lot of times he was kind of unapproachable. And I remember asking somebody about it, and the way they worded it, this was not from Jackie himself, but the way that they worded it was, you have to understand somebody who's been in the limelight that long and in the position that he's in. He thinks that everyone who is around him either wants something from him or is trying to tear him down to build themselves up.
Wow.
And imagine, like, if that's your worldview on people.
Oh, yeah.
And I guarantee you, for a lot of coaches, they think that way. And so a lot of them will play the game. I know this is a little bit different than what you were bringing up, but a lot of them will play the game of, they will appear to be your best friend because, they feel like everybody's trying to get something out of them, so they're going to get what they can out of the big booster or the big this, that, or the other. So, but yeah, to your point, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm the athletic department, I'm making sure I watch who's dealing with my head coach. I'll go one further. I'll put a full tinfoil hat on. I'm not kidding about this. I would absolutely sweep the locker room when I got to a visiting, like if Alabama's going to play LSU, and I'm on the advanced team down there, the first thing I'm doing is sweeping that locker room for bugs.
Wow.
Swear I am.
For halftime.
Why not?
Anytime.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
you saw the deal with Texas where the AC doesn't work. You know what Alabama did? They brought their own air conditioning systems just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, it sounds a little tinfoil hat and it sounds a little thin, but it's called being prepared.
Yeah.
And not leaving yourself open if the 1% chance of something nutty like that. It's crazy to think we're talking spy games with this, but it is that big a deal.
So you want to hear circles and connections and everything. So when I went to Baton Rouge, guess where the radio affiliates thing was at? Court to Table. It's owned by a lawyer who's a big booster for LSU athletics. Okay, and guess where the Lane Kiffin show is going to be?
Of course,
telecast right there.
That's right.
It has pickleball courts, outdoor and indoor. It has a bar and then a restaurant and everything, and it has a table up there, and that's kind of like this is where Lane's going to sit.
Yes.
For the show on Thursday night.
Yeah,
and I mean. It's a working relationship, though.
Yep.
But he is a lawyer, and he is a booster. It's sort of like you give me something, I'll give you something.
Sure.
I'll give you money. You come to my place and you
100%.
do this show. And, there's connections that are made, but not all of them are dishonest.
I believe it. But I would say that there are a lot of coaches who I think the nature of the job can make you more paranoid than you should be, and I do think there are people who are always worried everyone is out either to get something. I've never forgotten that. I mean, this was 1997 I had this conversation. I've never forgotten it because I think it explains a lot of the big-time coaching mindset because everybody's either out to get something from me or to tear me down.
You played it last year. You were talking about Florida State's assistant coach, Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
Taking the Florida State coaching job. Yep. Arkansas, they had Petrino.
Yes.
You talked about him taking the job.
Yes.
That's a person waiting in the wings.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that we're all talking about is one thing and one thing only. To get any advantage that I can to win a football game so that I keep my job and I keep the money flowing for my family. All of this stuff, no matter if we're wearing tinfoil hats or not, it's something that we legitimately have concern with every single coach because they can't – these guys, we think that they're like us. They're not. They're not like us. Every hour of the day is on a schedule by a handler that's walking with these guys. I talk to all of these guys that I'm trying to get on the show all the time, and they're telling me, well, he can't do this, he can't do this, he can't do this. This is how much time he's got. This is when he can do it. You want him or not. That's the kind of way it's set up so you don't have a lot of, even though we see them on the TV, even though they act this way or they say this or they answer our questions, they're not the same. They're totally different, and they have to be so guarded because everybody is trying to get something from them.
We fall in love with the rare occasions of the Bobby Bowdens who feels like your grandpa.
Yeah, for sure.
And by all accounts was, all of that. But whether it's high-level coaching or CEOs or politics, you are talking about the extreme of the extreme, competitive nature, zero-sum, win at all costs type of atmosphere. These people are competitive on a level I don't think the average person can really wrap their head around.
No, not even the player. Because you're only about yourself. This person is running the whole organization. Every single thing that goes out, they could lose their job.
Whether it's athletics or coaching or anything, like I said, CEOs, any of it, the margin between greatness and failure is so small that anything you can do to gain an advantage
and
is
that's
seen as necessary.
And that brings the point about
within the rules for most, not all.
Not all the time.
Within the rules for most.
I think that if you present, I guarantee you, our most favorite coaches, and I hate to say Bobby Bowden, Nick Saban, all of those guys, they have teeter-tottered on the line of whether or not illegal or legal in their coaching careers. And that is just the bottom line because it is such an impactful thing is to get an edge on the competition. You talked about it earlier when you said, is he playing checkers or is he playing chess? That whole thing, they all want to do it. And I remember what happened when Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher kind of got in a little bit of a squabble. And he started leaking stuff. He said, do we want to start bringing this up? Because he was at LSU with him. He knew what was going on. He said, we want to talk about who pays players or who doesn't. If you remember, there's things that are behind doors that some of these guys have brought up or have not brought up that we could talk about.
Coach O talked about brown paper bags at USC while Reggie Bush was there and everything.
Yes.
So here's another thought process. Lane Kiffin got fired at USC. Who became the interim coach?
Was it
Coach O?
Yeah.
Okay. Les Miles got fired at LSU. Guess who became the interim coach?
Coach O.
Guess where Coach O is at?
LSU.
He still thinks there's a possibility he become the LSU
What?
coach again. I'm telling you, these guys.
Wow.
He thinks there's a possibility, but there's not.
That's crazy.
I know.
Well,
It wouldn't surprise me.
This is a place of Cajuns, man.
No, it would surprise me they did it. It doesn't surprise me he thinks that.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Yeah, that could be.
You don't think that's a possibility in his brain?
I truly
Yeah.
don't
now that you bring it up.
think the average person, us included, really has a true insight to the mind of the super competitive elite level coach athlete. It's different.
It is different.
I mean, I've been around a lot of them, and for me, even just to sense it's a very difficult thing. You try and adapt it to the way you think, and you have to realize at some point they're not built necessarily like I am.
Yeah, when you think about it, you think about the stories that they tell about Michael Jordan,
Yeah.
that all he wanted to do was win in everything.
Yeah.
He would flip you for whatever. And that's the thing. Like,
And he was nasty about it.
yeah, it was total. Like he would go into games whether or not
Everything
score
we
points.
champion about Jordan, if we saw right in front of our eyes, I think we would find a lot of it distasteful.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No doubt. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our break. When we come back, it is PCB Hobby time with Todd. They are in town and ready to go and ready to talk about it. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Your attention, please.
ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike three.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play.
Good evening, this is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Monday's weather forecast. A mixture of partly cloudy skies and very light rain tonight with a low near 80 and a wind 3 to 7 miles per hour. Very light showers and a likelihood of thunderstorms tomorrow morning and a temperature of 86. About the same in the afternoon and evening around 88 with possible thunderstorms and mostly sunshine. Possible thunderstorms Wednesday and very warm around 87. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun. All roads lead to Game Day. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means Florida, from Texas to California, every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code NWFlorida. Spend $5 to get $150 in rewards within 14 days. That's code NWFlorida in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends August 23rd. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook, prediction, and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Football season is right around the corner.
Touchdown!
And 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has an unbelievable schedule of college and NFL games. Do you own a business, want to reach more customers? Put the power of ESPN Northwest Florida to work for you. Advertising opportunities are available right now. For more information, call 850-215-4468 or go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
Pull up a chair, Braves country, because your Atlanta Braves are ready to play ball on the Braves Radio Network.
And he swings it. It's one high and deep to left field. Green to the wall, and it's gone! Home run, Ozzie Albies!
Tomorrow night, one of baseball's biggest matchups comes to Truist Park as the Los Angeles Dodgers roll into Atlanta for a 3-game series with the Braves.
Braves-Dodgers. Coverage starts tomorrow at 6. First pitch at 6:15 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is the vehicle for your hobby.
Yes, you are trying to get a big hit.
Coins, cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them. And now, the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd.
you can really, really get something cool in this.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves will be taking on the Dodgers tomorrow night. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. If you want to be a part of this show, you can be. You can call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line. 850-215-6290 is the way you do that. It is that time of the day, that time of the week, and it's only been this time this month. We finally got the PCB Hobby team in here, the captain and the doctors in town. How are y'all doing?
Happy Monday.
It's been a long time since you said that.
It's been a long time. It's been good though. I mean, we've been busy.
Well, go ahead and tell us what's going on.
So the doctor and I just got back from London. We got back Wednesday evening, and we were there from Friday to Wednesday, and we delivered a high-end comic book to a customer who purchased on our eBay Live.
Wow.
And so it was a $20,000+ comic book, and we hand-delivered it to London.
How's that for customer service?
That's
that is really good. And that's not just the cover, right? That's the whole entire book, right?
The whole book. Yeah, the whole book.
Okay.
It was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, first print. It's the very first print of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
amazing?
Which is iconic.
It's been around long enough to where it's so expensive.
1985.
How much fun was letting TSA run that one through the old scanner?
So they did run my backpack, and they didn't say anything,
That's good.
believe it or not. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But regardless of that, we've been busy with stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. We've been doing
and go check it out on Facebook.
Yeah, we have a video.
Instagram,
We have a video on
on
Facebook
there.
and Instagram at PCB Hobby. We've been doing stuff like that. It's been crazy. It's been fun. We've also been to a bunch of smaller cons, just different comic cons, TCGs, buying inventory. We're still obviously very heavy into eBay Live. I've been doing a lot of that. And so it's been really good. We're on there 4, 5, 6 streams a day, always going. It's been good with that. So, it's been awesome. Some changes, though. Some very large changes have happened in the past couple months. We've rotated some people in and out of the actual business. I no longer have a business partner. I am solo in PCB Hobby. Correct.
Wow.
Yes.
He is really
congratulations.
At the helm. Yeah. So Bill.
But we know what that means.
Bill left the company, and the doctor, she's always been a part of it. But Bill left the company. His last day was July 31st, and so I am solo, 100% owner, and the guy that you can all yell at if something's bad.
There you go.
So, pretty much.
Right.
So, anyways, there's been that change. We've expanded. We've grown. We have many positions open still. Anywhere from housekeeping, cleaning services inside the warehouse, food replacement in the kitchen, things like that. We have comic processors that's needed. We're looking for also a specialist for our CGC department. So we just have a lot going on, and we've hired many new people and we've rotated several people. Want to give a shout out to our finance team. They've been doing a fantastic job, Maddie and Julia. They've stepped up and really taken the reins on that. So that's been great. But I'm telling you, we have just been slammed. We have more inventory than we've ever had. The shops are doing great. Orlando's doing great. Again, tons of Pokemon coming in and out the door, especially in Orlando. Going down there tomorrow. The doctor and I are traveling down there tomorrow to check in on Drew. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. We got several collections to pick up, several Pokemon items, several comic items, and then we're going to go see some friends in Boca Raton as well, pick up some stuff there.
Which is fabulous, except for the fact that it's about 10 to 12 degrees hotter than it is here.
Oh, it's nasty.
A little bit warmer.
Nasty.
For sure.
Nasty. Just, wouldn't even wish that on anybody. But anyway, so it's been really good. It's been really busy and just a lot going on. But everything is great, and we're so excited for the future. Plus, I signed a lease on a new place. Nobody knows. In fact,
Until
my
now.
current leases don't know either. So if they're listening, oops. But it's a much bigger space. I can't tell you where it's at right now, only because there's probably a lot of people who don't know. and it might cause a ruckus.
But it is in the area.
But it is in the area. It's just down the road, not too far from here. So we're pretty excited about that. But everybody at PCB Hobby knows. So we all know what's going on. But we will not get that space till November 1st, and we still have to build out. So you won't see us in it till next year.
Oh, okay.
So
is it bigger?
It's
is that
bigger.
what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to probably have retail and the warehouse together in one space.
Instead of having two different spots.
Yeah.
Right.
So, David, if you're
I'll stop
listening,
being
I'm
as
sorry.
much of a gopher.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, they said they were doing it so they could keep their eyes on you. Actually, they're gonna have cameras everywhere.
Well, it'll be really.
It's a good thing I don't charge mileage on this thing.
And it'll actually be really nice because with the retail right there,
Oh, it's
with the
huge.
warehouse, we can just pass stuff back and
That's-
forth, streaming,
Right.
buys.
That's
That's just. It's an amazing
It'll become
opportunity for
frictionless
us.
at that point.
Very frictionless. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, I'll tell you this. The other night I was sitting there and I went on eBay Live and I was just checking out what your guys are doing. I don't have a collection of coins or comic books, but
Right.
that was the two things that were on. And I just kind of was listening and watching and seeing how it all goes. And your people that were doing it, they made it personable, which was
That's
really
it.
cool. It wasn't a real formal thing. It was more or less, hey, everybody jump in this room together, and they can write what they
Right.
want. They
Let's
can
be a
mention,
community.
That's
yeah,
right.
and I was impressed with that part. I really enjoyed it. It was actually entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Just to hear what they were selling. They went into detail.
Well, and it also depends on who's streaming because someone like one of our streamers, Charles, he's very entertaining.
Yeah.
Very, very entertaining.
Red beard.
And so he has a red beard and he's entertaining. But we're gonna
He's off the chain, in fact.
We're gonna do a lot of cool stuff in the new space. We're gonna have a lot of technology, and a lot of the streaming rooms are gonna be very similar, or if not the same, and larger, more inventory. More streaming rooms so we can run multiple streams at one time in any category. A lot of more offices, things like that. We're really out of space, honestly, where we're at. And of course, the warehouse part of this large space will be able to house tons of toys. We're getting into toys, tons of comic books, and various supplies and things like that we sell on our website and we sell to people on the live.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be really good for us, and we're really excited for the future in this thing. So anyways, I can tell you it is 48,000 square feet. So
Nice.
it is monster compared to the store, which is 4,300 total, and 8,700 at the warehouse. So
Yes, that's
we're
way
going to
bigger.
at least triple our space. So we're really excited about that.
And
Well,
of
that's gonna
course,
be good.
always looking for streamers
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, I'm
you
telling you, we
know,
always
I
have
mean,
positions open, guys.
Even if you guys know someone in another part of the country, I mean,
Oh,
we
100%.
have people come from all over.
Relocation
So
services, the whole deal.
Send them our way
Yeah.
if anyone
Free
out there
he-
knows anyone.
Free health care. I mean, we have it all. It's amazing. So, but our people work very hard and are really, really diligent on what we do. So it's been great. Anyway, so we got a lot going there. Like I said, the stores have been busy. We're starting to wind down a little bit in PCB. It's not quite like, oh my God, there's 100 people in the store right this
Yes,
second.
correct.
Which is okay. Not a bad thing. It gets the locals out and gets them starting to come back in and do all that type of stuff. So, without further ado, Brian, what is coming out?
Well, we're still kind of in the layover from Friday, the big Topps football flagship, first one in God knows how many years, launched on Friday, and it's been selling like crazy. So it's kind of a lighter week for new releases.
Gotcha.
You have Topps Chrome Black basketball hitting on Thursday. You have an F1 product called Excellenza, and that's on Friday. That's a little higher end. Kind of, but it's nice because there's a lot of Formula One fans. And then Panini does have a product coming out on Friday again called Origins Basketball, again non-licensed because Topps has taken over the license of that. But so it's a little lighter week on releases because so much was centered around flagship football, which will continue to be big. And then when we get in about a couple of weeks, I think it's the 11th of September, Bowman Chrome Baseball comes out. That's probably the next tentpole release that will come out that everyone looks to. But this is a really busy time of year for shows. So a couple of weeks ago we did Pensacola. We talked about that. I just got back. Auburn ran a great one. Wish there was a little more foot traffic, but it was the first one they've ever run there. But it was on the floor at Neville Arena.
Wow.
They had Dominique Wilkins and Dale Murphy and Andrew Jones
cool.
and Tim Hudson. Every Auburn sport had their athletes out signing free autographs for everybody.
That's good.
So like they really put on an excellent event. We're looking forward to doing multiple there. I'll be at Saraland with Nathan running Gulf Coast Card Show this Saturday. Who we love, Nathan, and he runs a great show. He's got a bigger building there in Saraland because it was outgrowing the Daphne location. And then in about, right after Labor Day, I head out to the Dallas Card Show for 4 days, which is one of the biggest in the country. So there's a lot going on with that. We're changing over. I got a lot of new inventory in Auburn. Hope to get a ton more in both Saraland and definitely will in Dallas.
When is Labor Day this year? Do you know the date?
The 7th.
The 7th?
Yeah.
Okay, so just after that.
Coming out of that, I leave that Thursday.
And we leave that
Day,
Tuesday after Labor Day to go to the Dallas Fan Expo, and then we're looking at some toy collections up there too. So we'll all be in
busy
Dallas.
thing.
Taking over Texas.
I won't be in Dallas, but y'all can bring me back stuff that's worth stuff in Dallas. How about that?
No.
We'll bring you a trinket from the airport.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
God knows I'll probably be in the airport long enough. DFW never
We're
works
actually
for
going to
me.
drive.
Are y'all going
We're
to?
going to drive with the
I may
trailer.
still.
The reason
I'm
why
not
we're going
sure
to drive with the trailer is because we are actually looking at a couple toy collections that we might actually pick up. So in Dallas when we go to the Fan Expo.
So does that walk us through that for just a minute? We got some time to talk about it. So everybody watches these shows, these reality shows on TV. Do they kind of go that way when you're going to buy a collection? Because like American Pickers, for example,
what they don't show you is all that stuff is staged because they didn't get a name and didn't get the amount of stuff and the amount of business without doing it probably exactly how I've done it all these years. And that's when you see them say, well, I'll give you $100 for that, or I'll give you $50 for that, or whatever. No, it's usually you group a whole bunch of stuff together and I'll say, I'll give you $20 for all this stuff. And it's worth thousands. I mean, that's what you almost have to do. I mean, how will you ever make it in any business without really having a lot of wins? They don't show you that stuff.
Right.
And they're not going to show you that stuff.
In fact, production probably has it.
Sets it all up and probably pays for it and decides it all. And
That's it,
Same for Pawn
because
Stars.
there's the second income stream as it relates to that transaction. Normally it would be like, anything that's off camera, the entire profitability of it is in the sale. Whereas they would have the content and the sale, which would allow them to
negotiate
be
a
able
little bit
to
more.
throw some different numbers out than they would if they were typically doing.
So
because it ranges. I mean, I'll
right.
tell you the truth. Somebody can walk in and be like, I have this Michael Jordan in a PSA 6. And they're like, I want $11.5 for it. And we're like, well, we're going to retail it at $10.5. To make $1,000, is that worth it on spending over $10,000?
Right.
And that's less than 10%. We're probably going to say no, but maybe we'll eke it to 11.
Yeah.
So we can make $1,500, just above 10%. Okay, cool. On something like that, that's a simple transaction. But somebody comes in with 16 shoe boxes of old cards.
right.
I mean, you're not going to look at every card. You're not. You're going to sit there and you're going to be like, look, it looks all like 60s and 70s. I don't see where anything's pulled out that's major in this. We'll give you $500 for all of it. And then you're going through it, and then you might win. You might find, oh my God, they had a 62 mantle in there. Oh my God, they had a 61 mantle.
Yeah.
That was worth the whole deal. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The two things I think when I've watched some of those that look somewhat comparable. Number one, trying to get the backstory is always important.
Correct.
Because that can help you with provenance on old things
Always.
as well. But also exactly what Todd said, and they will do that.
The hunt.
They don't go through every single little
thing.
piece on a huge collection like that. What they're doing is grouping by year. They'll know these things are available.
That's why Storage
they do
Wars.
that.
That's why Storage Wars was such a hit, and storage buying opportunities were such a hit. 95% of the storage units don't have. They're all junk.
Anything.
Right.
Yeah.
But
They show you the ones that are
5% they
good.
got on camera.
Yep.
Yes.
Are the ones that they show you
That's right.
that are good and happening, and the players and the oh, my daughter's with me and stuff like that. And look, don't get it wrong. You may see us on TV someday. I mean, Dr. Sharon and one of our guys, Devin, is pitching an idea of stuff like that right now to potentially get us on TV. I mean, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what we do. Exactly what you've seen on all those shows that have been so exciting and everybody loves. That's what we do every day.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to ask, because I felt like there has to be the form of communication. They've got to, get in touch with you or something, or you get in touch with them through whoever. And
It's
find
emails,
the stories.
it's through the store, it's through somebody who knew somebody. I've gotten several calls lately or texts from people like, so-and-so gave me your number, I have these toys, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, so you reach back out. We got an email from a lady. I came into one of your stores, of course, didn't say, was it Orlando or was it Panama City Beach? So we wrote back, which store did you come into? Who did you talk to? Blah, blah, blah. What do you have? And you work that situation, and there's some people who are like, I'm doing all this research on my stuff, and they walk in and we completely obliterate them. They're like, it's not really worth that much. No, I'm sorry, the internet's not right.
Yeah.
It's this. This is what it is. And then there's people that walk in that have no idea and didn't do any work. And then we're like, oh my God, you got so much great stuff here.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
It ranges every day.
Yeah.
And that's what's
Todd
so
has
cool
to break
about this
cards
business.
all the time.
But that's
I'm
what's
sure
so cool about the
sure.
business is that every day it's something new.
Yeah.
Something new.
Yeah, you never
Brian was
know
telling
what's
me
gonna walk in.
Some guy is getting ready to move, and he said that he might sold some of his old cards and things like that. And it's been, again, you just don't know what's going to walk through the door. Yet I had just talked to him an hour and a half before that at our warehouse, and that there wasn't even a story or a thing. And then an hour and a half later, I see him at the shop, and he's like, this guy came in and tell me a story. I mean, it's like almost like there's so many stories that get created every day, and Sharon and I get to have a part of that.
Yeah, that's
just
great.
amazing.
And I'd heard that they had heard about the stop or the store from the show. So there you go.
I doubt
So
that.
I'm going to tell a funny story on the
That's
air.
what I heard.
I have a buddy who he got back into the hobby coming into our shop about 4 years ago. He does shows up in the Northeast. He was at a show at Foxwoods in Connecticut.
No way.
And he loves wearing our T-shirt that I gave him in one of our deals.
Please tell
I
somebody
gave him.
recognized him.
We had 3 people go, oh my God, what are y'all doing up here? And he had one go, we go in that shop every time we're down there on vacation. What are you doing up here? Of course, he had to tell him he didn't technically work for us, but at this point, John might
But he
work
kinda
for us.
did.
But it was so, he sent me a picture of it and all like that.
Yeah,
But
that's
at a show in
cool.
Connecticut, he had 4 people
We're
who
starting
knew
to
who we
get
were.
we're starting to get out there pretty
love
far
that.
and wide. It's getting to where there's a lot of people. I mean, so this is how interesting the business is. So we have a guy that we do business with, and it's called Agoro, which is also New Zealand Mint. And so they make silver products, like Disney silver products and things like that. We sell a lot of their stuff. We buy a lot of inventory from them. They have a rep in the UK. The UK rep found a group that is selling comics and different stuff and wants them to sell their products. So they asked Dan, our US rep, hey, do you know anybody in the US that could help these guys out? And I kid you not, this was a week before we went to London. I got to meet those guys in London.
Wow.
Because they connected us.
Yeah.
So it's really cool stories like that and things that happen like that that are really
That's
Oh yeah,
so
not to
good.
mention the traction that we got for Gronk.
Yeah. The
That helps.
Gronkowski thing, that's very
Yeah,
helpful.
that helps.
If people have not seen it, then go to our social media. Because we have it out there, and there should be another one coming soon.
There is another one
as
coming
well.
for New York Comic Con.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
It'll
was
have Gronk
that
and
was
us in it.
so cool. The shoot was cool. Everything was cool about
That's
it,
been great.
and the promo that they shot was so funny.
So much fun.
Well, that's awesome. Well, make sure you go to it. Give us the address and the operation hours.
Again, Orlando is at 8972 Turkey Lake Road in Orlando, Florida, 32819. And phone number is going to be hooked back up. Long story, but nothing wrong, just we are using a different
Technical
system now.
difficulties.
So we're getting it set back up. But our number here is 850-320-8388. You will get the only the shop here in Panama City Beach, which is at 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway. And, of course, that's in Panama City Beach, 32407. And contact us on our phone, again, 850-320-8388.
Yes.
And they can get a message down to Orlando if you need us.
That's right. Well, always a pleasure to have you guys. We're glad you're back in the United States
Awesome.
of America.
Thanks for having us again.
And I know that I guess I'll be getting one of those T-shirts here soon that you're giving away to other people.
Yeah,
but either way,
I'll tell you what they cost.
all right, sounds good. Either way, we appreciate you guys. Go see PCB Hobby. Check them out on their website as well and the Facebook page. When we come back, we're going to dive into more about this whole deal going on in college football today. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
I may not have gotten Texas right at the end of the season. I did miss a game or two, but you know what game I got right? The Red River game. That's an easy one to get right.
Give me a break. Every time they've beaten us, we've had a quarterback that's been injured.
I'm sorry, Sooner. I'm not really in charge of the excuse department at the University of Oklahoma.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, sponsored by the Deckhand Social. Weekdays 2 to 4 and 6 to 8 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Something big is coming.
On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans.
The countdown has begun.
All roads lead to Game Day. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. That means Florida from Texas to California, every fan is in on the excitement. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. Get ready to celebrate. New DraftKings customers sign up with code NWFlorida. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code NWFlorida in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable prediction dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms: dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
Looking to upgrade your truck? It's Blue Diamond Truck Accessories in Panama City. They sell, service, and install it all. Bumpers, truck bed covers, camper shells, van shelving, ladder racks, and any trailer hitch you can imagine. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, just west of Frankfort Avenue on 15th Street. Find Blue Diamond Truck Accessories on Facebook or call 850-914-0265. Blue Diamond Truck Accessories, 850-914-0265.
Football season is right around the corner. Touchdown! And 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has an unbelievable schedule of college and NFL games. Do you own a business, want to reach more customers? Put the power of ESPN Northwest Florida to work for you. Advertising opportunities are available right now. For more information, call 850-215-4468 or go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Alan Watson from Gulf Plus in Panama City Beach.
When we first came to Panama City Beach to launch our business, we didn't really have a voice and we didn't have any way of letting people know that we were here and we were new. ESPN Radio has given us a way to reach our audience, which is sports fans, because of being in the golf industry. And we've managed to grow the business while staying on the radio for 6 straight years. So it's been the kind of thing that's really helped us to grow. It's brought in the most business, and it's the thing that we're recognized for and people associate us with. I couldn't be happier with our association with ESPN Radio.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. That's ESPNPC.com and click contact.
Local roots, global reach.
Stroking it from 3.
The Sports Blitz never stops. And Paul Wilson has the mic.
The only way an LSU player can win the Heisman is they come from another team.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and we're so glad that you've joined us on this beautiful Monday right here in Panama City. Don't forget, the Braves tomorrow night take on the Dodgers. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. If you want to be a part of this show, you can be. All you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pool phone line. 850-215-6290 is the way you do that. I want to talk about Do Play right here in beautiful Panama City Beach. 287 Aberdeen Parkway is their address. They're right beside the Lynn Haven Sports Complex. If it's too hot or if it's raining, there's a place for you to go. It's called Do Play. Look them up on their Facebook page, Do Play. Easy to look at, DOPLAY. You can also go to their website, doplayonline.com. They're all inclusive with sports. They've got turf fields, parquet floors for basketball and volleyball, soccer as well. They've got great drinks, food items that are so good. You need to go right there to Do Play in Panama City. Also, Recommended Collision Center. They are your choice for anything wreck related. Now, if your handle isn't working, or maybe your mirror is broken, or maybe you need a new paint job, maybe your hood is chipping. Recommended Collision Center, Brandon and those guys. There's 2 Brandons over there. One's tall and one's short, so you can see the tall Brandon or the short Brandon, whichever one you want. They will get you taken care of right there on Jinx Avenue. They are awesome, and Brandon will be back on Thursday talking about the Volunteers and Tennessee football. Jeffrey, what you got over there for me?
Oh, shoot. We're going to Deckhand Social, aren't we?
That's what we were doing.
Yeah, we're going to get some seafood.
Cannonball.
Or salad.
Yes.
In the pool.
Or anything.
That's right.
But you can bring your pool. Your pool. You don't need to bring your own pool because guess what? They have their own pool. You can bring your boat, though, and dock it right there and get your drinks or get your food. Or you can look at the biggest screen on the beach side.
That's right.
Yes. And it's going to be a tailgating. It won't be a nightmare. It'll be a dream come true because you can come see and watch your team on the big screen.
That is right.
And it's football season, man.
It is football season. We're in week 0.
So the Braves are not going to be on the TV there.
No, that's not what we're watching
I hope so.
over there. All right, so we've got to talk about it. Not Keelan Russell, which a lot of Alabama fans will be saying over this fall. But Keelan Russell has won.
Lynn. Pronounce it.
It's not Keelan. It's Keelan.
Keelan.
Yeah, Keelan
You're saying
Russell.
it real quick now.
Yeah, it's
like
Keelan
you're not
Russell.
from the South or something.
It's Keelan Russell, and he's the starting quarterback.
He goes
for
11
week
and 1. I call him whatever he wants.
Yeah, whatever he wants. Darling, sweetie pie, whatever. Just win football games.
Heisman hopeful?
Possibly. They say
if they win games.
They say he is a very electric player that's going to be able to do some things. And, we talked about this. I believe he's going to be the key that they need to help spurn that running game that we used to have, not last year, but definitely the years in the past. So realistically, this guy is going to be the guy. Everybody seemed like in the building as you start to watch the social media pages talking about him. A lot of those guys are talking about how great he is. I know he throws a tight spiral, so hopefully he can drop some dimes in the bucket. So I'm pretty happy about it. That's a big deal that happened over the weekend that they finally did that. Now, secondary for today, Aaron Philo has been named the QB1 for the first week. And so I was listening to Coach Summerall as he was giving his press conference, and that's what stuck out to me is that he said for week 1. So that would be in police terms what we would call a clue, which means it only means week 1. So these guys, they've been really in a battle. He talked about how that Philo and Tramel Jones have been fighting, and that Tramel had really made a big push and pushed these guys. I'm curious.
I thought he threw a lot of interceptions.
I'm just curious to see how it's going to all work out because. Going into it, and I'm going to ask Coach Summerall. We're supposed to be we're working on a schedule right now to have him on the show. I'm just curious to know what is going to be the deal with this because as well as I do, when you're talking about your quarterback, when you're talking about the leader of your team, the person that's touching the ball more than anybody else, maybe besides the center, but when you think about that, I wonder what Philo in the back of his mind is thinking because he heard week 1. He's excited about it. He's going to get the most reps with the ones for this week. Mm-hmm. It's a whole different ballgame. The way that Alabama announced their starting quarterback was totally different than the way Florida announced their starting quarterback. And that's the two things that were kind of like, man, Keelan Russell, it's like he's the guy until he's not. Mm-hmm. Philo is totally different in that he's the guy this week. Well, it didn't feel like there's a ton of confidence or that the best player is just the one we feel most comfortable in week 1.
It helps if you're not playing a really impactful game week 1. So like if LSU had a quarterback controversy, this could be interesting. And the reason I'm going to say that is I'm going to bring up a name. You will probably remember it, but most of our listeners won't. Do you remember the name Blake Barnett?
Yes, I do.
Blake Barnett played for 1 half.
Yep.
He was the starting quarterback, QB1, coming into the season.
5-star guy.
Yeah. and he could sling it.
Yeah.
He lasted a half. We opened the season with USC that year. He was not playing well. We were not playing well. Jalen Hurts.
Trailing at half?
Yeah, Jalen, I think so. Jalen Hurts comes on at halftime. And it was kind of like, okay, I kind of remember his name, but I didn't think he'd be true freshman.
True freshman, yep.
Coach's kid, and the rest is history with that. Yep. Blake Barnett ended up transferring out, and I think he played at Arizona State or something like that. But point is that, you could be QB1 now.
Yes.
So let's say you're George McIntyre or you're Trammell Jones or whoever. It doesn't necessarily mean life's over. I know everybody's so quick to give up and try and look to go somewhere else like that. But like I said, Blake Barnett was QB1. Same kind of thing. He lasted a half.
Yes, he did.
So you never know how it's going to play
Jeffrey,
out.
do you know who the USC quarterback was that day?
Well, the guy would be around 2017, probably, right? Sounds about right.
It was
a little bit
16.
before then.
I think it was the 16 season.
I don't remember who it was.
Do you know?
It was after Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, who was there then?
None other than the Super Bowl MVP winning
Darnold.
quarterback.
It was Sam
Darnold was the quarterback for USC.
Really?
That's right.
How about that? So, yeah, a little trivia for you guys right there. But you're exactly right. If you don't have a game that's, super competitive, this is where you really can find out. Now, again, Florida fans are, they know the Tebow years. They know exactly what Chris Leak and Tebow were able to do, and they won games, and they won the national title. So that's how it works. So I don't think that they're upset about that. I just wonder if, moving forward, if that's good. Again, I have said it from the beginning when they started talking about it. Not that I'm some brilliant guy, but what I think is that you're going to see Trammell Jones play. Yeah. I know some people have talked about, Trammell Jones is probably going to opt out. No, he's not. I know that Coach Summerall, again, we've talked about these coaches. Coach Summerall says in his press conference, I've talked to both guys together. That also could mean that I've talked to them separate, too. And I don't just talk to them when they're together. I'm talking to them separate. There's no doubt if Trammell Jones can learn this offense and Buster Faulkner can trust him, if he's electric like Keelan Russell is, he's going to get an opportunity, and he's going to get an opportunity with the Gators.
And it's a slightly different dynamic there because Summerall was not coaching him last year. Whereas you look at, like, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Heupel was coaching George McIntyre a year ago. Now, he wasn't the starter last year. Joey Aguiar was. But it is – I don't know if it's better or worse. It's just a different dynamic.
It is different.
But the best thing you can do – and, look, we don't have a lot of the same issues we had last year with the 4-game thing, and then you could just kind of pop out anywhere because now you have the 5-for-5, so the 4-game thing doesn't matter as much. The best thing you can do, even for potentially where you're going to go as a transfer host – is be ready and be able, so that you can do. Because, look, anyone you want to go to, they'll see if you pitch a hissy fit the first sign of adversity you have too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The thing is that there's money out there to be made even if you are the second string because somebody's going to want you.
Keep going to work, keep being ready, and keep being able. And that's the best thing because you don't know when the Blake Barnett's going to happen or when – Jalen Hurts got benched after being the starter.
Yes.
And what ended up happening?
Right.
He comes in and has to win the SEC championship game the next year. So, he then left Alabama, went to Oklahoma. Not an Alabama fan in the world held it against him.
No. Let him go.
Because he was always ready and able when needed when he was there, and that's how you have to do things.
And Trammell Jones is going to do that. Yeah. I believe he's going to do that because Will Griffin is in the wings. Just so y'all know, there's a name that you need to remember. As long as he stays at Florida, you'll remember him very well. Will Griffin is probably going to be the heir apparent. He's going to be fighting for that job next year.
Philo's in a different situation than last year.
Yeah, big time different situation. You're right. Well, either way, that does it for us. We will be back tomorrow. I'm sure of it. Lane Kiffin will come out of somebody's mouth.
Aaron Rodgers to LSU.
We'll see you later, guys. Have a great night. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
You look at USC pitcher in honor of the quarterback, former Heisman Trophy. Anyway, so Deion with